I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a bit as I move along. Right now, we are continuing the story of David and the rebellion of his son Absalom. Last video, I read the first half of chapter 17 in 2 Samuel. This video, we will conclude chapter 17. Now, you will recall what happened here. Absalom, David fled the city of Jerusalem. That was in chapter 15. Absalom moved in. In chapter 16, Absalom took David's concubines to solidify his claim to the throne and prevent anybody from abandoning this rebellion. In the first half of 17, Ahithophel, the great counselor, he was described as his counsel as being as good as the prophets. He counseled Absalom to go and attack David immediately. Kill David, establish peace, because once David's dead, everybody will join you. Hushai, who David sent as a counter to Ahithophel and spy, says, wait, David's strong enough that if you go out now, he will defeat you, and then the people will abandon you. So wait, gather your forces, and then go out. Absalom takes Hushai's counsel over Ahithophel's. We pick this up in verse 15. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, Thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, Lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up and all the people that are with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by Enrogel, for they might not be seen to come into the city. And a wench went and told them. And they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom, but they went both of them away quickly, and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And the woman took the and spread a covering over the well's mouth, and spread ground corn thereon, and the thing was not known. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, They be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well, and went and told King David, and said unto David, Arise, and pass quickly over the water. For thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan by the morning light. There lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. So I like this story. This is an interesting one too. That Hushai, he knows that Absalom has taken his counsel, but he's a little hesitant. So Absalom might change his mind. So let's make sure that David is across Jordan. Get David out of here. Give him. I got him some time, but I can't guarantee that Absalom won't change his mind and follow Ahithophel's counsel. So let's get word out to him and get him moving before anything happens. Now, if you recall, Zadok and Abiathar, David told them to stay in Jerusalem so that they could pick up any rumors that they could and pass news along to him. They were kind of the courier. They were assigned to be couriers of news. Hushai was put in the court to get the information. He would give it to Zadok and Abiathar, and they would give it to their sons to take to David. It was this kind of a relay of information. And that's what we have here. But Jonathan and Ahimaaz weren't staying in Jerusalem because they knew that they were not going to be allowed to leave. Zadok and Abiathar were probably prevented from leaving the city. And they knew their sons would too, because Absalom knew that they were loyal to David. Now they were there because they ministered before the ark, which was in Jerusalem. And Absalom would not violate the sanctity of that. But their sons stayed outside the city. And in order to get them word, they had to send somebody who could leave. And it says a wench. Now, a wench, this is a female kitchen servant. This is a servant of the kitchen. That's what a wench is. And, well, you could say slave, probably was a slave. But anyways, she goes out, she tells Jonathan and Ahimaaz, and they weren't that far outside. They were in a small village just outside the city walls, really. And they leave, but somebody sees them leave. And so Absalom knows what's going on. He realizes. And so he sends men out to catch him. Now, he doesn't know exactly what information is being passed along, but he knows that something's up. But they come to, who was it? The house of Bahurim. And I like the disguise. Toss them down a well, hide them in the well, and then you laid a board over the top of the well and made it look like that is where you ground your grain into flour. So when the people came and searched the area, they didn't bother lifting it up, because as far as they could tell, it was just a hand mill. And in this way, the people are able to get away. Jonathan and Ahimaaz are able to they warned David, and immediately David tells the people, pack up and cross Jordan. Now, Jordan is not a huge river. It's not like the Mississippi. It's not even like half the rivers in eastern United States. But it is wide enough that it is a barrier to invasion. Crossing the Jordan has to be done carefully. You can't just run across it. So when David gets across it, this will prevent any immediate attack on him. If an army is chasing him, then they will have to stop at Jordan and organize a crossing of Jordan before they can continue the pursuit. And this will give David time to regroup and entrench his men. So that's where we're standing now. Now, let us continue verse 23. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and got him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself and died, and was buried in the sepulchre of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. Why did Ahithophel kill himself? This is very simple. Once David had escaped over Jordan, Ahithophel knew that Absalom was not going to win this war. He had his one chance of winning. If he had just gone after David immediately, he had a chance of winning. Once David has escaped past Jordan, Ahithophel knows David is too strong. There are too many people still loyal to him. Absalom has lost. Might take a while. It takes a year or two to actually defeat Absalom. But Ahithophel knows what's coming. And he also knows that he is the one that counseled Absalom to take David's concubines, which means that once David wins, Ahithophel is dead. Ahithophel has placed himself in a position that he cannot live anymore. If he doesn't kill himself, he will eventually be killed by David. And so he goes home, he takes the time to put his affairs in order, and then he hangs himself. He says, I can't do it anymore. He's saying he has lost all faith in Absalom's ability to rule and win this war. And he knows that if Absalom loses, he's dead anyways. Verse 25. And Absalom made Amasa king of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son, whose name was Ithra, an Israelite, that went in to Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister of Zeruiah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. So David's in Mahanaim, Absalom's in Gilead. We're getting ready for war. Now, this says he is the son, Amasa is the son of Ithra, who is the husband of Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, the sister of Zeruiah. Kind of a roundabout way. And Zeruiah, remember, is the sister of David. Nahash is the sister of Zeruiah. So either she's also the sister of David, or she is the wife of Zeruiah's husband's brother. He's the sister-in-law of Zeruiah. Most likely, she's the sister-in-law of Zeruiah. Zeruiah married her husband. Her husband had a brother who married Nahash. So Ithra is a cousin of Joab. Not necessarily a nephew. Joab is David's nephew. Ithra is Joab's cousin. Not necessarily David's nephew. Might be David's nephew. We don't know. The relations there are a little bit hazy. But Amasa is the son of Joab's cousin. Anyways, verse 27. And it came to pass when David was come to Mahanaim that Shobai the son of Nahash of Rabbah of the children of Ammon, and Machir the son of Amiel of Lodabar, and Barzillai the Gileadite of Rogelim brought beds and basins and earthen vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentils and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry and weary and thirsty in the wilderness. So here we have it. People are coming to David. He is not by himself. He is not just his loyal, mighty men and nobody else. People are flocking to David. There are people flocking to Absalom as well. We have this division of the kingdoms. Now these guys here are from Ammon. They are not Israelites. So we see David, he defeated the Ammonites more than once. But a number of the people of Ammon are actually loyal to David. They don't want Absalom to be king. Absalom does not have the following that he would need in order to defeat David unless he had made a quick and immediate strike as Ahithophel had counseled. Without that immediate strike, he has no chance. We will read about that in later videos, though. We will leave that one here. See you in the next one.